Hello, everyone. It's William here at Allegory Gallery. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're having an amazing day. Sorry for a little late start. I forgot my laptop at home, so I had to bring the computer from my desk over to here. So I got this set up so I can see everybody, I think. Let me move here. So I'll be looking this way today instead of this way to read comments. I see Anita is here. Hello. Thank you for joining us. It's good to see you here. Marianne is also here. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Jen is here. Hello, Jen. Am I missing anyone? Let me see. So far, that looks like that's who we've got here. Wednesday afternoons are always a little bit slower. I shouldn't say always, most of the time, but sometimes we get some really um really big crowds for our lives. So thank you all for being here. I'm still having some headache issues, and if you can see, I don't know, maybe you can see this side. Look at my shoulder. Like, this side is low. This side is like up here. I'm trying to force it down, but I'm having pains in my back on this side. So something is not quite right. And I'm like constantly tilted, and I'm trying to push that down. So I think that's what's causing some of my headache issues. That and a little bit of dehydration. Um, I've been trying to drink my water today, but I need to drink more. But yeah, so if I look like I'm like trying to do this or I'm like off kilter a little bit, I am. So you can see the difference. It's wild. I'm having neck pains here all the way down my back, and I think that's causing some of my headache issues. So still got headache, not as bad as it was yesterday. It was pretty bad last night. I had a hard time sleeping. Um, but we're here, and I've got some energy today, so that's good. I do feel like it's very warm in here right now, um, but uh, let me see. Hold on, I'm going to mute because I'm going to talk to our speaker. Okay, I didn't want everyone else's speakers going off. Thankfully, I can turn on the air conditioner here that way. They're connected, so I don't have to use my phone because I'm using that to stream. I'm also hoping that I don't run out of power because I think I forgot my phone power cord today. So it's an interesting day. I'm kind of together, kind of not. Rosanna's here. Susie's here. Hello, everybody. Thank you all for being here. May has also joined us. Hello, May. Thank you for being here. Anita says, I'm so sorry. It's not nice being in pain. No, and I don't know why I'm in, like, lately I've been getting this knot or something in my back. I'm wondering, I probably should go to the chiropractor, but it's a little bit expensive. Ours isn't too bad, but it's hard to afford that sometimes. But I feel like, I don't know if like I have a rib that's I had a rib up here that he told me was popped out, and he fixed that at one point, and this shoulder went right back into place. So I'm wondering if there's something happening because I keep having this reoccurring thing where this specific spot in my back keeps acting up. Or maybe it's how I'm sleeping. I do sleep with like two cats every night. Um, and they pin me down, one on each side of me generally. So I don't move a lot at night or easily. So that could also be it. But it's like taking my breath away every once in a while. So if you see me go like this, it's the knot in my back. But I got through it about 2 weeks ago, and it eased itself up. So I'm hoping that I can get through it again. Jen says it's 96 here with a heat advisory in Lancaster, but only 84 inside. 84 inside compared to 96 outside probably feels pretty nice. Right now we are at 87. The high is going to be 88 today. So we are at the highest. Well, now it's saying, now that I open it, it's saying 86 with a high of 87, whichever. 1 degree difference, not that much. 59% humidity. It feels more humid out there a little bit to me, but there is a breeze. And the breeze does help. But I took the cats out here a little bit this afternoon. I stopped at home, took the cats out, and I should have done it earlier in the morning, but we went out during the afternoon and it was hot. I was just standing outside. I was just sweating. Um, so it is hot. Not as humid, sticky as it was yesterday, I guess, but it's hot today. Not as high as 90 some though, not 96. Although my speaker told me it was going to be in the 90s today as a high, and it doesn't show that here. So that's a good thing. Um, Jen says, sounds like you could use some stretching. Oh, I've been trying to stretch. I have been trying to stretch. I have to be careful when I have pains like this on stretching too much, because if I stretch the wrong way or too much, sometimes I get um, I don't know, I overdo the stretching and then I cause more pains in more places. But yeah. He says, oh no, William, so appreciate you being here despite the pain. I appreciate everybody coming to join and hang out with me. Andrew's not here, so we don't have our normal chatter back and forth and all that. So you're stuck with just me, and if you're going to be watching. So thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. Marion says that's what the morning checklist is for. Which morning checklist? What are we checking off? Um, Stretching, cats outside. I don't know. But yeah, my morning starts pretty late for most people because we are night people. And for a long time in my life, I felt guilty about this. As I'm getting older, I'm starting to feel less guilty about it because this is just my life. And all my life I felt guilty and I'm tired of it. But I am a night person. So our bedtime is 3 to 4 in the morning. That's mine. Andrew's even different, even more different. But my bedtime is generally 3 to 4 in the morning. So I get up around 11 or noon generally. On Wednesdays, I try to get up a little bit earlier. And I was up earlier today because I was checking to make sure Andrew made it to New Jersey okay. He is there. He has a beautiful room. He's like, you could have come and stayed with me, but we didn't plan for that. And I know we could have. We generally have lots of help from our good neighbor friend and my mom if we need to have the cats watched. But we didn't want to spring it on people too early because he left really late last night. He left, I think, around 11 last night, something like that, maybe even later. Um, yeah, he probably left closer to midnight, is my guess. I can't remember exactly. Um, but I had to make some runs. We made a run to Walmart for him because he had some last minute things that he needed, and thankfully they were still open. So around 10:30 or so, I was running there. And then he left he probably left around 11:30 or so. It's about a 5 hour drive if all goes well. And that's one of the reasons he likes to drive at night, is because there's much less traffic and he can generally make good time. So he made it a little bit even under time compared to what I thought it was going to be. Um, he was supposed to get there around 5, and I think he got there around a quarter till or 20 till this morning. So he made it okay. I have not heard from him yet today because he's been in class probably all day. I don't know if he got any sleep in between or if he just stayed up whenever class started, but he got there around 5 this morning. He may have taken a little nap. But anyway, yeah, so my mornings are generally most people's kind of afternoon or close to afternoon. Let's see, what's everyone else saying? Everybody's saying hi to each other. Marianne has a thunderstorm watch again. We need some rain. I was just talking to our neighbor Beth, and she's going to be talking to the people who do her lawn and telling them to hold off for the week for mowing because the grass is getting so brown. We don't like to mow it down when it's brown. So I've kind of put a hold on mowing our home grass. The grass here at the cottage is more like both of our lawns are more like a field than actually a lawn. It has more wild things springing up in it than actual grass, like real grass, but they still get brown. This one here is not too bad up here. So I haven't told our person not to mow, but I don't think they're going to mow until maybe next week, I think, if I remember the schedule. I might be off, but it really doesn't need it in either place. And I'm going to hold off mowing until we get a little bit of rain, I think. We could definitely use some water here. Some nice rain, though, not like hard pouring, flooding kind of rains. We just want a nice, gentle, it'd be nice to have a nice, gentle rain. But I don't think we're going to get that. Possibly rain on Saturday and Sunday, it's saying. So we'll see. Donna's here. Hello, Donna. Glad you could be here with us today. Pouring rain in central Alabama. Maybe some of that will come across to us then. That would be nice. Hopefully, nice rain, like I said. Rosanna says, you sound like me and my neck. It starts feeling better, then starts hurting again. Oh my goodness, yes. I have, ever since I was young, I have slight scoliosis. And I don't know if that's because I broke one of my legs when I was like 5. My cousin uh, convinced me to jump off of the stairs at my grandmother's house. In my memory, it was like at the top of the staircase. That is not true. It was like the 3rd step up, but I was very small and he held my hand and we jumped and I broke my leg. So cousins for you, right? But so I had a broken leg, and I don't know if that threw off my back. The chiropractor I go to says that probably was not the case, but I don't know. I feel like if you break your leg and like it's not going to be the same, and I don't know if that causes growth issues, especially when you have it at that young of an age. But I do have slight scoliosis in my back, and so my neck and upper back shoulder area is always a problem for me. This one's emanating, at least it feels like it, from my mid back, which is a little lower than normal. But that could also be because there's something going on tight up here. I don't know. But yeah, but you can see it. I'm trying to push it down. But when I before I started this video, it was literally like this. And then I was like rubbing my shoulder and trying to stretch my neck up and out. But yeah, I have a lot of neck issues. I get migraines and stuff, usually tension headaches here. Surprisingly, like it is sore up in here, but my head issue is coming from up here, which I think is more dehydration than anything. I'm used to drinking like 1 or 2 of these a day, and I've been very bad lately. I don't know why. I've just not been drinking as much. May says, whoa, Marianne, it's supposed to be summer. I know. Marianne has such wild weather. Let's see. Rose Designs Jewelry is here. Hello. Thanks for joining us. Kimberly's here. Hello, Kimberly. Hope your birthday went well yesterday. Everything went well through the night, I hope. I went to Walmart and I meant to get cheesecake because we were talking about it. And what did I forget to get? Cheesecake. I did get myself a pizza though, because Andrew, we were getting Andrew ready to go so late. He had made some food for me for when he was gone, but we kind of ate most of it together for lunch and stuff before he left. And so I had a little bit of that left, but then I was still hungry later in the evening. I ate that around 12:30 last night for dinner, and then I was like by like 1 o'clock or 2, I was still hungry, so I made a small pizza for myself, and that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Marion says, whatever you need to do on any particular morning to get to where you need to be with all the accessories and gadgets. That, by the way, includes my brain in my case. Yeah, I would need a brain in the morning to be able to make the list. I need to make the list at night. I should do that. I should prepare for my next day better in the evenings because I'm kind of more awake. But I get into this point in the evening that I'm working so much, and then I get to this point where I'm like, I need to stop and I need to relax. And once I hit relaxation mode, it's like my brain is it's fried at that point. And that's usually when I think about, oh, I should make a list for tomorrow. And then my brain is like, no, you're relaxing now. Stop working. And that's what ends up happening. So I don't make the list for the morning, and I don't have a brain in the morning. But yeah, I kind of rush around. I'm one of those people that I leave the house in like 15 minutes. I wake up, I feed the cats. Usually I shower at night, so I don't usually have to shower in the morning. So I wake up, I feed the cats, I take my medication, I gather as much as I can remember to gather and brush my teeth, that kind of stuff, and run out the door. Usually that includes taking the cats out at some point for a little bit. And while I'm outside, I'm too occupied with trying to make sure I have eyes on all of them. And then I come in, grab whatever I thought I needed, and I leave. And inevitably, I forget stuff. Like I had a shipment of bubble wrap and boxes that I wanted to bring up today. Did I remember them? No. So that's that. Um, but I am very I've always been like that. I've always been like I have a hard time just like lounging around and kind of waking up in the morning. Like I would rather stay in bed longer than wake up and like have a that kind of where people get up and they linger around a little bit or have coffee, whatever you drink, or have breakfast. I don't eat breakfast. It makes me nauseous usually to eat too early. um I'm one of those people. I don't like going to bed, but once I do, I don't like getting up. And so I would rather stay in bed longer than get up and just kind of have a longer morning. And I've always been like that. And as I'm getting older, as we have more to do, it probably would be better to switch that. But it's a very ingrained thing in me by now. Like all through college, I would get up and just like run to the bus. Like it was like getting to class or running to the bus. I was very rarely late though. I was a good student. Um, I there was probably only maybe 3 to 4 classes in 5 years that I ever skipped or was super late to or anything. Um, but I've always been like that. I've always been like, get up, get ready, leave. And then nights are, like I said, my brain shuts off at a certain point, and that's kind of my lingering mode, is kind of at night when I can do things. But by that point, I'm done with work, and I shouldn't be yet. I should make my lists um, someday. Someday, do my evening journaling or something so I can get ready for the day. Rose Design says, I wish I could stay awake until that time, but good for you. And I imagine it's very peaceful then. Yeah, people talk about um, the peacefulness in the morning. It's also peaceful at night. Um, and it, since Andrew and I both are night people, it kind of works out better. I think he does wish I would go to bed a little bit earlier because I do cut into some of his work time sometimes when I'm awake. And he is not a person that can work with other people around. I very much think I have ADHD, and if you look up some of the things that go with that, um, I think it's called body doubling. Some people with ADHD have a much easier time working when there are other people around. And that has always been me. I have a very hard time working when it's quiet or when there's nobody around. Um, Even if they're in a different room, even if they're like, as long as Andrew's like up here at the cottage, I can get more done. He is the opposite though. He works better when there's no one around. And so we have it's hard sometimes. It's good that we're both night people. We can get things done, but also our functioning is a little bit different sometimes. Um, so yeah, it's an odd thing, but I um definitely have that body doubling thing where I work better when people are around, and I've always been that way. I don't necessarily want them close to me. Like I don't need to interact with them, but I like having other people doing things. And that's why when I do work, I generally always have to have a TV on or the radio on if no one else is around me. Um, and usually it's TV because it feels more like people around. People are talking, and um, but sometimes I have both, which is a little bit weird maybe for some people. But sometimes I do have both the TV and um, the music playing. um, Susie says, "Are we going to stay with daylight savings time?" I don't know. Is that a thing? I haven't even heard. Are they considering that? That would be lovely. I love daylight saving time. I hope we stay with it. Everybody's saying hi, 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 hi. Um, Jen says, I love driving at night, having the road to myself. Yeah, we do too. We do too. Um, Thunderstorms are fairly normal in summer here in Edmonton, says Marianne. Um, Rosanna says, depends where the break was. My daughter broke the growth plate of her ankle, so one leg is a little shorter. Yeah, mine was, I don't know, mine was in my, I think my shin. I think I broke my shin somewhere in there, or whatever those smaller bones down there are. Um, one of them, I think, broke. It's been so long. I have no idea. Um, and uh, I've always felt like one is a little bit different than the other, but I've never had it tested. Donna says, I had fresh green beans, homemade mashed potatoes, and locally grown tomatoes. Oh, that's a nice lunch. I did not eat anything yet today, I don't think. I did stop and have a frozen mocha. I had to have one today. I felt it was too hot. Um, Donna says, yeah, my brain doesn't work in the morning until I've had my first cup of coffee. Yeah, and I generally don't drink caffeinated coffee, so it takes a while for my brain to get going, even though I rush out the door. And that's probably why I forget a lot of things, because I'm rushing out the door without my brain fully working yet. Um, Jen says, I made a generic morning list and made copies of it for when I am brain dead in the morning. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. My morning list is generally could never be generic, because just the way things are, I don't think I could have a generic list. My generic list is feed the cats, take the cats out, take my medication, brush my teeth, leave. It's like my generic list, and I do that every day. But otherwise, it's like grab this for this order, or take this for packing, or take this to the cottage, or move this from the cottage to here. It's not a. Sometimes I want my laptop at home. Sometimes I need it here. It's there's no generic. I wish I could. Susan's here. Hello, Susan. Thank you for being here. Susan says, I love the quiet of both early morning and night, usually. Yeah. I I I can understand the morning. I just don't feel comfortable in the morning. I never have. And I think that's because I grew up with night people. My mom was a night person. My dad was, he had to get up for work in the morning usually, but he kind of gravitated toward watching TV late at night and things too. Um, and my grandmother was the same way. She would stay up late watching TV, and I'd stay up late with her. So mornings always have felt a little weird to me, like not comfortable. It's a weird thing. Generally, anytime we had to get up early, anytime I saw a sunrise, it was like for something we didn't really want to do. Um, so we get up early sometimes, for school. What kid wants to get up for school? Um, I was always very excited on the first day of school, so much that I usually couldn't sleep the night before, and then once school got going, didn't want to get up for school anymore. Um, but like, or a doctor appointment, or things that just didn't feel comfortable. We'd always get up early for. Um, let's see here. Rosanna says, my husband used to tease me that my brain shut off at the end of the workday. It does. It should. I think it should. I think that's a good thing when it does, right? Your brain is telling you it's time to relax a little bit. Kimberly says, for my ADHD, I need sound, but cannot have people talking directly to me and interrupting my flow. No, like I said, I cannot have people trying to engage with me, but I get more work done if there are other people working on their own things. Like if I just hear noises of other people around me that I know, like if I hear noises outside, it throws my anxiety up. But if I know like Andrew's here, or we have friends here and they're doing things, I don't need to talk to them. I don't necessarily want to. I just need them around, and then I get a lot of things done. There's that comfort in, I don't know, in having people around you. Um, I don't know, maybe it comes from like a group mentality where, if something were to happen, there's other people to also see it, so you can more focus on what you're doing. It's kind of like the cats. We have our cats, some of them will eat, and there's always one or two that stay around and kind of don't eat until the other ones have eaten. There's always one watching. And I feel like maybe that's why, like, like through evolution and through the way humans have come together and used to be in communities and all that, there were always people who would watch while other people would do things for danger. Or and so knowing there are other people around me doing things, I can more fully engage in what I'm doing. And I feel like that's what it is. um there's just that security in knowing there are other people around. um Marion says they are considering daylight saving time holding. Good, good. Susan says, I'm really not a fan of daylight saving time, but we get the same amount of daylight either way, later morning or earlier evening. Yeah, the reason I'm a fan is because I'm a night person and I miss the mornings. So if there's more light in the morning, it affects me in no way. But if I get more light in the evening, it's so much nicer. It's so much nicer. Um, so yeah, I that's why I like daylight saving. It flows with my schedule better. I know it's the same amount of light no matter what. It's just where it's shifted, and I would rather have it in the evening, 100%. Um, because then I might actually, I feel like I can more fully engage with my day. If it gets dark earlier, like it does during the winter when we shift the other way, um, it wears me out a little bit more. So that's why I like it. Leslie's here. Good afternoon, Leslie. Thanks for joining us. Um, Susan says, since I've retired, I've come to appreciate being able to enjoy coffee and morning news without having to rush. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. Um, Marion says, I always wanted to get up early, although bedtime had gotten earlier. Yeah, I'm never wanting to get up early. Never. I will stay in bed until the last possible minute. Um, that's just the way I am. Um, May says, I like both times, but unfortunately, a lot of my favorite cafes close early. It's only 2 p.m. Yeah, 2 p.m. Cafes close? That's wild. Even here in Ligonier, they don't close that early generally. Um, let's see. Jill's here. Hello, new friend. Hi, Jill. Thanks for joining us. Says, thanks for keeping me company while I embroidered this crazy cabochon. Nice. Good work. Yeah, so if you are new here, we chit chat generally for about the first hour. We always do that. We do it live every weekday. Maybe some of you out there don't know that. We do it live every single weekday, Monday through Friday. This is the only day we go at 3 p.m. Eastern time, though. Every other day is at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Night people, remember? But I have my pottery class at night on Wednesdays, so I do it early. Normally, it's usually me and Andrew, but Andrew is away. And so it's just me. It's just me this week. But thank you all for being here. And be sure to put us on your schedule, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time most days. We talk for about an hour in the beginning. Sometimes I shorten it today because I got to go earlier and get to my pottery class. But generally, we talk for about an hour, and then we show about 30 to 50 items every weekday that you can claim for sale during the live sale part of this show. So, and we'll go over how to claim all that stuff if you'd like to when we start that too. It's also scrolling down here. Um, but thank you for being here. New friend Jill. Donna says, I'm an early morning person. I get up at 6 a.m. most days, feed and walk my dog, journal, etc. Yeah, I need to get up a little bit earlier because I'm trying to start running again. And although I do like running at night, it is hard around here to run at night, I feel like. It wouldn't be too bad, but it's easier for me to run in the day. Although I very much do like running in the evening. But our lives usually go until like 10:30, and by the time I do the spreadsheet and stuff, sometimes we're not done until 11:30 or midnight, and that's pretty late to be running around. I don't want to have like people's dogs barking and waking people up while I'm running in the middle of the night. So I need to get up a little bit earlier than I normally do so I can add that to my schedule because I'm really feeling it as, as the years go by, I'm feeling the need. My body is calling out like you need to exercise a little bit more than you are before I can't exercise, you get to that point sometimes. So I need to do that, but it is hard for me. Um 6 a.m. is never going to happen though. That'd be like 2 hours, 3 hours after I go to bed. If I could take a nap midday, that could work because I'm one of those people that would like, I can sleep for like 4 hours, get up and do things, and then would sleep for another 4 hours. If I could do that kind of split sleep like they used to do in the olden days, that would be nice. Not even the olden days. I think it's fairly recent a change that we don't do that anymore. The two sleeps. Um, but I would like the two sleeps. I think I would be good at the two sleeps. But our day is not made so that we can do that very easily. Um, Susan says it's partially why I enjoy listening to music so much. Yeah. Susie says, anything exciting for pottery tonight? Nothing more than I've been showing. I don't know yet if my teacher got the parts for her kiln. If you've been paying attention and watching, I've been talking about that. She got the wrong elements for her kiln and she installed them, not knowing they were the wrong ones, and it blew up parts of her kiln. Relays and thermocouples and things like that got blown out. So the company had to send her new ones and she has to replace all those things. So I don't know if that's happened yet. I don't know if she's been able to use the kiln at all. So I have been doing work on underglazing and engobing some of my little dishes because I can do that work not having them fired yet. And then once they're underglazed and all that, then they can be fired, and then I can put on fired to bisque, and then I can put on a glossy glaze. I am doing things differently than I normally do them because of this situation. So I have no idea how things are going to come out. I'm just hoping they come out well and everything is okay. But it's a different thing for me. We're even using a different clay. The white clay that we were using, she found something happened. They couldn't get it, or something happened. They decided to bring in a different kind of white clay, and it's a little bit softer. So some of my dishes, I have to see how they're going to come out because it was a little bit trickier to work with, to hand build with them or with that clay. But I wanted to give it a try. But we'll see. Depending on how they come out, I may have to go with some of the darker clays when I do dishes in the future. But hopefully these will come out okay. They're looking pretty good so far. But I have to be very careful because they are all completely dried clay at this point, but they're not cooked yet. So they are very fragile. And if you saw my last post, I broke one of them. Harry offered a suggestion, but I already recycled that one. So, but it's good to know that it possibly could have been fixed. And if something happens again, we'll give it a try. So I have no idea what's going to happen in pottery. It's most likely just me doing more underglazing colors on the dishes that I've been working on. Um, Susan says, since the pandemic, coffee places don't stay open past 2 or 3 p.m. or so. That's weird. Even here in Ligonier, they stay open a little later than that usually. That's sad, kind of, but I understand it. One of our coffee places does close like that. They're open very early in the morning and they close around 2 or 3. So I get it. Um, I guess also, most people probably don't try to drink much coffee after 2 or 3 because it'll keep them up at night. And more studies are telling people not to drink after, noon or 2, somewhere in there. So that makes sense. I drink decaf, so I like a coffee at any time. And caffeine never really, it started affecting me with my anxiety and making me more anxious, but it did not ever really keep me awake. I could pass out at night um, after drinking a cup of coffee. It actually sometimes felt like it helped me sleep until the anxiety started really kicking in here in my more in my 30s. Once I started getting anxiety, I mean, I've always had it to a point, but the caffeine really started affecting it then. That's why I cut it out. Plus my heart stuff. I don't want to have all that stuff. Um, May says, I know that's wild to me, but they're still popular, so someone is going. What are we talking about? What I miss? Um, I don't know. Ba, ba, ba. But how are you supposed to have fika if the cafe is closed? Fika's afternoon coffee and a sweet snack. Yeah, you can't. Can't do it. Luckily, one of our cafes in town stays open until later, and they have food too and snacks, sweet snacks. Kim's here. Hello, Kim. Says, hi, all. Sorry I'm late. I was ordering from the AG store with the coupon. Yeah, I haven't even talked about that yet. I haven't gotten into the selling stuff yet. But yeah, we're having a sale. If you missed it, um, our kittens got up to no good last night and they started a sale for you all. If you missed that news, let me see. I think I have I had to move this computer. Let's see if everything has caught up yet. There we go. Let's upload that. Um, so we're having a sale in the online store. That's the story. The kittens got up to no good. Look at them. Look at them. They got caught. Cats play sale. Golden Daddy's away, so the cats are playing. While I was sleeping last night, they started a sale in the online store. 20% off most items. The only thing they excluded was the item. They excluded the items that were in Andrew's drops. We generally don't put those on sale. So those are the exclusions, but you can save 20% off most other items. I think pretty much everything else. Just use discount code CATSPLAY, and you can do that. So that's useful, hopefully for y'all. That's in our email. There's also a link to add that discount code directly to your cart as well in the email. But if you don't, just put Cat's Play, and it'll take the discount off anything that can possibly be discounted. And if you also missed it, apparently their big brother Gilbert helped them with this. So let me show you this too, if it'll upload. There it goes. Look at Gilbert on the computer there with Gilbert's notes, and he was helping them out last night. So that's what they got up to. We just thought that was funny. So yeah, that's those kittens are adorable, says Susan. Cute photo. LOL. Those naughty felines, says Leslie. I know, right? What they get up to. They figured it's been too long since we've had a sale, apparently. It has been a while, other than we did some of our BOGO sales here and there. Buy one, get one half off, stuff like that we've been doing on certain collections. But we haven't had a site-wide sale in a while. So if you want to take advantage of that, we'd appreciate it. Kim says, Gilbert, those orange boys are trouble. He normally, he and his sisters have, they don't always get along. So they were working together though last night. Normally, uh, normally Andrew's home, so they're supervised downstairs while I'm sleeping, but they were unsupervised last night, and got up to some no good. But we're letting the sale go. It's going through this weekend, until Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. So just before midnight on Sunday night, you can save 20%. So thank you all for those of you who have already used that code. We appreciate that so much. And Donna says, yep, I snagged some things from the online store with the discount. Good. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. And let's see here. Where am I in my comments? I've been skipping around in the comments. Um, May's talking to Marianne, says, I think they only need customers who are morning people for the cafes, but I mean, I'm glad they're successful. I just need to adjust my schedule. Yeah, it's some of the, I now that I'm thinking about it, I think I think the one coffee shop in town does close early, and that's one of the reasons that I never hardly get there. I feel bad because sometimes we frequent the other ones more, but they close early. And like my day is just starting around noon or 1, and they'll close sometimes around 2. And so me getting to there, but I can go to the other ones. There's at least 2 other ones in town that I think stay open a little later. Um, let's see here. Ba, ba, ba. Leslie says, caffeine has no effect on me still. Yeah, I don't know if it would. I haven't had it in a while. Every once in a while, I introduce a little bit of caffeine. Like I'll have a coffee that's caffeinated every once in a while, or I'll do a half calf um, just to see. And generally, I've not had any negative things, but I'm also on medication for my anxiety, and I take other herbal mood, stabilizers that I find information about and research and look into those. Um, so generally it's not too bad, but I try not, like, I'm not having caffeine every day. And I don't know what that would do to me. But I have been trying to manage my anxiety better, a little bit better. And, I think once you've had something for a long time and you've been dealing with it, you do find ways, hopefully, to manage things. And I've had this anxiety for quite strong anxiety now, probably for at least 10 years. And I'm finally finding better ways to kind of cope and ways to kind of think about things and that are starting to work a little better. Of course, life can always throw you something and you're like, you know, but I knock on wood and hope those are fewer and further between. Um, let's see. Everybody's saying hi. Um, Marion says, coffee doesn't keep me awake, but I usually only drink it before noon. But there's always tea for fika. Nice. Um, Such hardworking kitties, says Marion. I know. I know. you know, they get in trouble for not doing chores and supporting their families, but every once in a while they show up, right? Show up for work. Usually when they think it's the most naughty possible time. They're not going to work unless they think they're being naughty doing it, probably. Jen asked, did anyone adopt the rabbit stone on stone pendant? Yes, they did. That has been adopted. I tried to put sold in all of the descriptions of where I shared it. And thank you. That has been adopted and sold. So we appreciate that so much. Um, Marion says, if I had the moolah, I'd be tempted. Yeah, it was really nice. It's really nice. May says, will you be combining live orders with the online orders if you ask us to? That's the new policy. We talked about that over the last few lives a while ago. We will start shipping online orders without combining unless you specifically ask us to. That's a change simply because um, it's it's harder. It's harder to combine over things, and sometimes I miss things, and then I don't want people to be upset. So I'm starting to ship more immediately from things that are ordered in the online store. If you ask us, I will combine them. It may take a little longer, but I will combine them. But generally, I'm trying to ship things out more quickly if you order online. And if you order through the lives, we do the normal process. Um, let's see here. Um, our cat's idea of working is to get them to do work for them. Yes. Normally, they are master manipulators, I think. For me anyway, I'm generally called pushover daddy. So they have found many ways to get me to do things for them. Um, so that. Mace is great. I'll try to remember. Yeah, just let me know if you're placing an online order in the online store. There's a note section when you're processing your order. In the notes, you can say please combine, or you can follow up with an email and let me know to please combine, and I will do that. But sometimes I feel bad if live orders, some people have them held for longer, and they don't always realize that the online store orders are going to be held too. So now we are just trying to, and it clears my brain a little bit. I can offset, I can ship things out. I do still have some online orders that happened before this change, and so they are going to be real. They are going to be held to be shipped, but from like last week forward or 2 3 weeks ago, I can't remember when we started talking about the change, but we are going to be shipping online stuff by itself generally and out the door unless you specifically request. And this week, some of you who purchased the root babies, I'm going to be shipping those. I need to cut cardboard though to make sure they don't get bent up in shipping, at least as best as we can. They don't fit in the boxes that we have anyway, so They'll go in envelopes and be shipped out individually unless you ordered something with them. The cats pay in purrs sometimes. Sometimes they withhold and eye blinks. Ours definitely blinky eye, kitty kiss us. They're good at that. But yeah, so that's life. Life is lifing. Life is pretty good at the moment, I guess. Andrew's gone, so it's just me and the cats. But things are going fairly well while he's gone so far. He's only been gone a day, so we'll see. But hopefully you like what I picked out for you today. We're going to get to the sale here pretty soon. If you'd like to purchase anything from the sale, this is how you do it. I'm going to give you a paper with a lot number, VUT lots today. And so it was actually going to be WVU, which is like West Virginia University, but my V's and my U's and my W's sometimes get very non-distinct. So I went to VUT, and I'm going to have to even make sure that my V and my U's look different. But as I've said before, if you're sending an email today, I'm assuming you're probably sending it for that. So even if they look like you can't read them and you put UUT or VVT, it'll be okay. But adding that extra W is just like I would definitely write that too fast. So anyway, you take down the lot number, which is here. I'll have a price here as well. And then if there's a number in this corner, that's how many we have at that price. You just put VUT1, for example, in the subject line of an email, and you send that email to info@allegorygallery.com. And I just remembered when I put the cat thing up there, it took away that. So there's the title bar across the top. It has the information too. info@allegorygallery.com. and hit send. If we have 3 of these, for example, and you want 2 of them, VUT times 2 in the subject line of an email, send it to info@allegorygallery.com. We only accept claims via email. We've had people fight us over this, and we've had people not understand this. We've had people thinking we're being mean by not accepting their claims and comments. But that's the way it is. We only accept claims in email. So you must send an email to claim. We're not trying to be mean about it. We're not trying to, discredit anyone or have prejudice against anyone. But the reason we do that is multifold. One of the reasons is we stream in multiple locations. Some of those comments come in at different times. It would be very difficult for us to know whose comment came in first, especially if you're watching a replay. Like today, I don't always get to claim to the claims before I go to my pottery class. So for example, if you claimed during this live, and I'm relying on the comments, by the time I get home tonight, if somebody claimed in a replay just before you did time-wise, their comment would come up first. And so it wouldn't be fair. Also, YouTube has up to 24 hours where comments from the live don't populate again. So it could take up to 24 hours for comments from the live once I hit end to show up again for me. So I would have to wait 24 hours to actually see what you all wanted and requested if it was in the comments, which doesn't work for our schedule. Also, a lot of people, when we did try to do comment claims, they would say, "Oh, I want that one," but they didn't actually mean they wanted it. So we would send invoices to people and they're like, "Oh, no, no, no. I was just like, I wish I could have it." It was that kind of a thing. So the one extra step of you sending an email tells us, I definitely want this. I went through the process of sending an email. I definitely want this. There is no question who gets what first. The email comes in completely populated in timestamp order. I don't have to worry about people saying, well, on my screen, my comment came up first, because that does happen. Um, I have watched our own live while it's in progress. Um, and the comments that come up for me here on our streaming software are sometimes in a slightly different order than what shows up on YouTube or on Facebook. So depending on which one I used, would depend whose comes in first. It doesn't happen with email. So the reason I say all that is because even recently we've had people who have been upset because we weren't taking their comment claims. Um, and it's really not fair to people who are sending emails, because email takes a little longer than it takes to send a comment on the comment section. So you must send us an email if you want to claim. That all being said, if you do send an email and you get it, because it's first come, first serve, but if you are first, you are promising to take it. You can't send a comment, or you can't send an email for everything and then at the end tell me, oh, I want this one, and this one only. That gets you kicked out of the club, y'all. We've had that happen before. We've sent warnings to people about that, but now we express this. Uh, don't do that, because that messes everything up. And then I got to go through all the emails again and refactor everything. And if I've already sent out emails for the other things, then I got to go back to people and say, hey, this one actually is still available. Do you want it? And it's messy. And it makes everything feel weird. So don't do that. I will send an invoice via Square, usually right after the live, within a half hour or so, or 45 minutes. But on days like today, when I go to my class, sometimes it's not until later tonight. But you will get an invoice via Square. You can pay that with a credit card. They are enabled generally for Afterpay, if they're able to be. If you want to use Afterpay and for some reason it's not turned on, I've had that happen recently. I don't know why, but you can message us and let us know, and I can turn it on for your invoice if it's not. That's between you and the credit companies, though. We cannot adjust that. If you're like, I wasn't approved for Afterpay, can you do something about that? No, I cannot. But that all being said, if you've been with us for a long time, there might be other ways we can work things out. And that's about it, I think. Marianne says, I like the email system. I do too. It makes my side of things quick. We can get out invoices to you quickly. We have a record of every single thing that people have gotten through email. I don't have to go back through the videos and try and find out, did this person claim on Facebook? Did this person claim on YouTube? If there's a question from further back, Facebook deletes videos after 30 days. So if you claimed on that, I can't even go back and research anything if I need to for any reason. So that's all. The email is great. We've had guests, trunk shows and things that they love the email system. They're like, I should start doing this for myself. Um, when we do Ava's trunk show, she loves it because there's receipts for every single thing that comes in. You can see it. You don't have to scramble looking for stuff. Now, some people do the comment sold thing or systems like that, and that's great. If that works for them, good for them. In order to do that, we would have to switch things up and we would have to charge you more because that system costs money. Um, it makes things more expensive. One of the reasons we can keep our prices low is because we use email, which is free. Well, it's not free. We pay for our email too, but that's because we use our domain name. We pay every month for our email, but it's less than we would pay for a comment sold system, and we pay for it anyway. Vicky says, I like emails too. No one can see what bead I am. Yeah, that's the other thing. When you do comment sold, everybody who's watching or who watches can see everything you've bought. Um, they can see it showing up in the comments. They can see what you're bidding on. Email keeps everything private other than between us and you. Nobody can see what you're buying. Nobody knows what you're paying for. Nobody knows how much you're buying. And I like the privacy of that. And that's another good thing. So that's that. If you have any questions and you're new, please feel free to ask in the comments. The comments on these videos, please talk about how lovely the things are that you're seeing. Talk about how much you like them. Talk about, if I miss giving you a size or you want to see a size of something. Ask questions about the products. Talk with friends here in the chat. Comments are all good for that. The only thing comments are not good for, as far as that's concerned, is placing the order. Send us an email for that. And of course, no big self promotions unless we've given you the go ahead for that. If you're a friend of ours, we don't mind promoting you, generally. But if we have no idea who you are, you've never been with us before, we don't know why you're here yet, don't be the trolling type and try to self promote. We try to be very careful of that when we are on other people's feeds, and we expect the same that way. But I think that's kind of a normal thing for the most part. All right, so that's that, I think. Have I covered everything? Probably too much, but I always like to say that. Oh, the last thing. We generally hold orders for a little while, because we do these every single day, especially if you order something that's very close to the shipping amount. So if you order small things today, for example, and we charge $7 flat shipping generally, because that covers us about anywhere in the US. If you're in another country, we'll work that out for you when we go to ship. But we generally do the $7. So if you order $7 to $20 worth of stuff, we're going to assume that maybe you want to add to it the next day or in 3 or 4 days before we ship. So we're going to hold for a week or two to see if you add anything else to that to save you on shipping. That's kind of a general default, at least on there. And if you want it sooner, please tell us. And we can ship every single time if you want. If you order $3 and you're okay with paying $7 shipping on a $3 thing, we'll do that for you. But generally, and we have people who hold longer for that. They prefer to have a larger box, fuller box come to them. We can do that too. But we like people to know, if you're new, if you want something sent out immediately, let us know. Otherwise, because we do this every day and people join us often, once you get into the kind of cycle of hanging out with us, we're very thankful for those who do, but people often join us here and there, and sometimes just buy little things here and there. And we don't want to nickel and dime you on shipping. We don't think that's fair. So we try and do our best to work that out. All right, that is that. Let me flip the camera around in our low tech way that we do. And now I have more cameras. I feel like there's more cameras some days to choose from than other days. Sorry, everybody. So how are you all out there today? Have you had nice lunches yet? I've not had anything for lunch. I'm probably going to at least grab an apple before I go to my pottery class tonight. I don't know what I'm going to have for dinner either. I didn't go to the grocery store. Maybe if I have time in between, I'll run to the grocery store real quick. Kim says, thanks, William. That makes sense regarding shipping. You're welcome. And hello, Kim, by the way. If I missed you earlier, sorry. Okay. Oh, all right. What are we doing here? Let me get my things set up. Donna says, I'm good. Ran errands earlier today. Good. I should have run some errands today, but I did not. I really should have. I really should have, but unfortunately did not. And let's see here. Let me go back, get my computer set up. Like I said, I brought this computer over here, and I've been trying to get things going here properly. Okie dokie. Here we go. Marianne had potatoes and onions. Ooh. Fried potatoes and onions. I love some fried potatoes. Andrew always yells at me because I turn the camera and then I start talking and doing stuff and I don't show anything. So sorry, y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got 10 of these. 10 of these little vintage buttons. Let's do them. Normally our vintage buttons are about $6 for vintage check. I'm gonna do these for 4. So VUT 1. Whoa. Sorry, I almost just dumped the whole bag of buttons. VUT 1 are these beautiful dragonfly buttons. Let me get my light here closer. These are dragonfly buttons, vintage check. They have a glass shank on them. And here's my ruler. These are about 18 millimeters. Right? Yeah, 18 millimeters. I thought I had my calipers. It's like my calipers aren't here, but they're not at home either. So wonder where they are. I can never find them anymore. Anyway, that's that, I guess. We'll do just fine, I guess, with the ruler, like always. Rosanna said, I just had A&W hot dog and fries with root beer. Ooh, getting fancy today. Hot dogs sound good. We don't eat meat, but there are some good or pretty good vegetarian hot dogs. But it's not the same. It's not the same. I do miss a good hot dog every once in a while. Yes, fried. I love fried. Oh, I only got one of these left. Let's see here. We had this at 22. Since there's only one, let's take it down to 18. VUT 2. And this is a long strand. Look how long that is. Of these little wooden beads. They look like little propellers or something. They're super nice. And they kind of, I don't know, they look like falling leaves or something, like, I don't know, those falling seed, those maple seeds, or I don't know, they're fluttery. Let's just call it that. They're like fluttery. It's 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, about 30 inches, about a 30-inch strand or so, give or take. And they're super nice. They're kind of cut like you would cut for stir fry. That's what I cut. That's how I cut my vegetables for stir fry. That's what they're cut like. That's what they're faceted like. One strand available, VUT2. Whoa, and they just hit the ground. Back up there. Such a pretty color. They are a pretty color. Marion says, usually I would have eggs or something with them, but my cupboard is a little bare. I have 2 cans of salmon, but my can opener won't open them. Oh no. Yeah, you've been not feeling well, so you probably haven't stocked up recently. Yeah, hopefully you're starting to feel better. You can get those cupboards refilled, right? Our cupboards are always kind of bare because we shop every day. And the way I shop, I generally shop for that day. Andrew stocks up a little bit better than I do, but he doesn't really do the grocery shopping anymore. So unless he makes me a list, the cupboards generally stay a little bit bare. VUT3 is this house pendant by Harry Wood. Cute little house pendant. He did a series of these little house pendants a while back for us, and they're really, really cute. Any idea what the wood is? Let me see. There was an old tag on it. Bayong wood, it says. Bayong wood, which Bayong. Bayong wood. I don't know if that's durable, slow-growing hardwood native to the Philippines. I thought they were from the Philippines. So durable, slow-growing hardwood native to the Philippines. Bayong wood. There you go. That's what they were tagged with their old vintage tag. So I'm assuming that's correct. Marion says, no need to buy some food tomorrow after work. Oh, no, need to buy some food. Yeah. Get that food. The long bean cut, says Vicky. Nice. Nice. Boy, I have a tickle in my throat. It's not like a sick one. It's just like a nuisance one. That's why I keep coughing. Sorry, y'all. And then these are really kind of cool. These are let's put a good price. Let's do $6. $6 for both strands of these beads. Or beads, spacers, they are 3-hole. These are 2-hole. So these ones are the 3-hole ones, are shaped like this. Great for spacers when doing bracelets, things like that. And then these ones are 2-hole, and they've got the crystals in them. And so I'm doing both strands, $6 for both. VUT 4. One thing I didn't do today is check my junk. People have been going to junk lately. It's been making me a little bit crazy. And I don't know why people are suddenly showing up there. Let's see here. Okay. Thought that was somebody we knew. It is not. See, they try and trick me like that. Okay. VUT5. And I forgot to give you the length on these. So these are approximately 22 millimeters. I think they're about the same. 22 to 23 millimeters. And those VUT4. Let's see. I was going to cut these into separate lots, but I think I'm just going to do them all in one lot. Let me see here. That would be a number of strands. And these are unusual. I have to do them. Let's see if I can do them all. There's a lot of them here. That would at least be 2 to 3 strands. These are vintage check. I'm going to do them for $12 because they are very unusual. This is the shape. They're kind of coney, kind of roundy. I don't know what you want to call that. But you get the whole thing of them. And like I said, that's at least 2 or 3 strands if we stranded them up, probably more than that for a vintage strand like that. They're about 8 millimeters by about 8 millimeters. And you get all of those. Marion says, I just can't get my spam filter to accept some emails no matter how often I de-spam them. Yeah, and it's weird because sometimes people will pop into the regular inbox and sometimes they pop into the spam, and it's the same people generally, and I don't know why. Gumdrops, says Marion. I know, right? Gumdrops, I don't think we've ever shown those before. And they're so cool. I found them. Again, Andrew's away, so hopefully he didn't want those. Well, maybe they won't sell either. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? VUT5. VUT6. We got one strand of these. They were 16, bringing them down to $10 for you. These are these coin shell beads. They are dyed, but they're really pretty. I think they would look really pretty with the wood. The wood would give those kind of a nice backdrop on those. So you've got the coin shells, and they are about 12 millimeter coins. One strand available, $10 only. $10 only for the strand. Let's see. And let's see. Okay. Nobody grabbed any of the ones. I'm going to put the ones away. VUT1, only $4. Still available. And put the twos away. Nobody grabbed the Bayong wood. One strand of those available. $18 only. I'm going to put the hairy house away. Where's my bag for that? This one? This one. That's still available, VUT3. Moving these down, VUT4, VUT5, VUT6. VUT7. $6 each. Two of them available. There we go. VUT7 are these dog hand painted dog buttons, vintage check glass with a metal shank. Shank goes that way. We've got two of those available at $6 each. VUT7, pretty purple lavender color. Whoa. Here's the other. Two of those available, $6 each. Let me even put that on there. So since I'm showing both, make more sense. And let's see. Okay, this is going to be questionable. I don't know if I should have done this way, but I brought out some holiday charms, y'all. Like December holiday charms. And so I figured maybe some people want to grab them. We're going to give you good prices on them. VUT4 is that white enamel. I can't tell you for sure. It appears to be. They look like it, Jen, but these are vintage and they came to us with nothing. There was nothing to describe them. It looks like they're enameled to me or powder coated. I don't know. But I don't know for sure. Marianne said Christmas in July. I know. That's what I was thinking. So, let's see here. Sorry, people are sending me some emails. I'm flagging them so I can get back to people. Let's see here. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure on those. And yeah, Christmas in July, people do that. That's a thing. So I was like, all right. And there have been people who have asked us if we're doing a Christmas in July kind of thing. So here we go. These are $3 each. These are enameled, soft enameled, 14 karat gold plated, stainless steel, charms. And these are little presents. VUT 8, they're $3 each, and we've got 4 of them available. Again, 14 karat gold plated stainless steel charms. There's that one, VUT 8. Like I said, I don't know how this is going to go, but we'll see. It's a good time to grab them. And we're going to have some of those throughout the show tonight. So every once in a while, we'll have some little charms going on. These are $1 VUT 9s. VUT 9, $1. These are a really pretty bead cap. Come on, if I can flip it over. There's like a soft enameled bead cap. You get 4 of them for $1. VUT 9. And sizing on these, let's see, at the widest, they're about 10 millimeters. I didn't give you a size on this either. Let me see here. About 10 by 13 millimeters or so on that. It looks like I have room for one more. VUT 10. VUT 10. We sold the chatons last night, the Swarovski chatons. So I've got another grouping of them here for you. These are 2 millimeter, a little bit bigger than last night. We had 1.5. So these are 2 millimeter. And these are the emerald color Swarovski chatons. There's about 50 of them in there, and they're $3. Kim says, Viv and I are teaching 2 beaded holiday ornament classes at the library next week. Signups are full. People are into it. Well, let's hope. Let's hope. We've just sold 9. First sale. Yay. Thank you so much. Number 9 has sold. That means I can go to class tonight. I'm not allowed to leave if we have a no sale day. So thank you. That'll allow me to go to my class at least tonight. We did make, the cats made some sale in the online store. So that's good. Thank you all who did that. But we've always made it a thing that if we don't make a sale during the live, thank goodness we've never had that happen. But if we don't, we keep going until we do. So so you just helped me at least get to my class tonight. VUT 11. Of course, if I only make $1 during the live today, Andrew's gonna be like, what did you do? Donna says those chatons are beautiful. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. All right. You can be like, why did you sell holiday stuff instead of other things that you could sell? Let's see here. We've got 4 of these. 4 of these. They are $1.75 each. And they are a gold-plated Santa cutout charm. Look how cute that is. Gold-plated, $1.75 each. Oh, somebody else just tried to grab 9 again. Sorry, that's the one that has sold. Everything else today is still available. Every single thing else. VUT 11, $1.75. 4 of those available. Santa charm. All right. Let me put 4 away. 4 is going away. I took out my trash bag here. I don't have a trash bag near me. I got to replace that. Okay. I thought for sure 5 would sell because we've never shown those little gumdrops before. Those vintage Czech glass, possibly vintage German. Whole bunch of them. $12 only. I'll just strand those up. And then they'll be about $6 to $8 a strand. Ooh, we sold 8. We sold one of these, one of the little presents. Thank you so much. Oh, we've sold 2 of them. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Move these down. Maria says you have to be quick as a fox. Quick as a fox. Not today. Not today. You can be slow as the turtle today on a lot of this. That's all right. That's all right. We know there are other things going on in the world. And we're also having an online sale. So thank you all for who've grabbed things there. Use discount code CATSPLAY to save 20% off almost everything in our online store. That's a lot. That's a lot of savings. All right. I'm going to do these for 18. 2 of them available. VUT 12. VUT 12. Beautiful shell beads. They've been combined together to form these nice oval kind of shell beads. And there are 2 strands available, each bead on here. I pulled some of these because of the beachy thing, you know, we're doing the beachy thing. 16 millimeters by approximately 38 per bead. 2 strands available, VUT 12. Oh, we didn't even talk about bead in the new year, did we, today? What is going on? Okay. Whoa. I can't believe I didn't talk about that. Y'all have been rocking out beat in the new year. I don't know if anybody did anything with feathers. I don't know if I saw. I have to check it out. But today is sand and sea. Use a mix of blue and brown in a bracelet. So that's pretty easy. Even if you don't like the beachy themes, you can still do the sand and sea because blue and brown, that's a good combo no matter what. We've sold 2 of those. Thank you so much. There are still 2 of the Santa faces available. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, looks like we've just got 1 of this one left. This is one of the ones we were left with 1. This is $1.75. This is a snow person charm with a little heart. A little heart. This is stainless steel. Those available. VUT 13. Donna says, I haven't had time to post today's prompt. I haven't had time to post today's prompt either to let people know what it is. So hopefully people are looking at their calendars. I've been trying to put out a thing. Usually comes out later in the afternoon though lately. Kim says, I have a pair of feather earrings started, but I had to stop to start 30 assembling ornament kits. Yeah. Get those kits together. Get those kits together, right? All right. I'm going to take away the shell. Anybody grab the dyed shell coins? Those are really pretty. Rosanna says, I did some of the older prompts today. Good. Good, good, good. Thank you. Thanks for playing along. Put these away. The little dog buttons. And we'll move this down. We'll keep that. We still have 2 of those available. We still have the chatons in the emerald in 2mm. We still have 2 of the Santa cutouts available. Still got these, and we've still got so far the snow person. VUT 14. We have these when we have them. It's $2 each. We've only got 2 of these left. These are VUT 14. These are little stockings. These are 14 karat gold plated stainless steel stocking charms, approximately 9 by 12mm. We've got 2 of those available. Oh, we've just sold 1 of 12. Thank you so much. Marion says just 1 snow. I know we've only got 1. Somebody took an odd number last time we had them up available because we had an even number of them available. Thank you, whoever grabbed that. We appreciate that. Rosanna says tomorrow's prompt most likely 1. Yeah, tomorrow's what? Tomorrow's the take today to organize your workspace, right? People love that one, actually. A lot of people think that that's funny, and to some people it is, like me. But some people really love it because they actually give themselves an excuse to red up, as we say here in Pennsylvania, to red up their space. Marianne says those are wonderful pieces, Rosanna. I have to take a look. So they probably won't do anything for tomorrow. Well, actually, since I will put my sea glass away, I guess that could be considered organizing. Yeah. Throw the sea glass out on the desk, take a picture, clean it up, put it away, take a picture. Done. You did something. You did something for the day. All right. These ones are VUT 15, and they are $2.50 each, and there are 2 of them available. I gotta buy more Sharpies. My Sharpies are running out of power. These are mittens. So we got the socks, the stockings, and the mittens. Little charms. These are soft enameled. These ones are also 14 karat gold plated, stainless steel, $2.50 each. We've got 2 of them available. So these are really cute together, I think. You got the stockings and the mittens. 2 each of those available. Donna says, my workspace is on the way to being organized. I hope you took a before and after because we want to see it, y'all. We want to see it. If you haven't, now's your alert. Take the picture so we can see a semi before and an after. Okay, moving these down, make some room here. Oh, we sold the 13, the snow person. Gonna go ahead and put that away. Thank you, thank you. Moving these down, moving these down, moving these down, moving these down. Okay. Well, I picked some wild things today. Okay. I was going through picking things that I don't normally pick. I guess I was kind of like, okay, sometimes I pick things that I always like, and I like a lot of our stuff, but I often pick things that particularly speak to me. And today I was just kind of going through and being like, we haven't shown this in a long time. We haven't shown this in a long time. So even if you've been with us for a while, these are some things that maybe you haven't seen at all yet that we have. These are $1 each. They're African glass. I have multiples available. And you can pick however many you want. They're $1 each. I love the style of these. And yeah, they're all different sizes. You know how African glass can be. But yeah, really cute. $1 each, multiples available. Rosanna says, is 12 shell? Yes. And I forget the name of this shell. Let me see if there's any old tags. These are vintage, and I don't. Somebody out there may know. Wait a second. Do I have it written down? Tiger cowrie. Tiger cowrie. That's the word I was looking for. And they're pieced together. You can see they're kind of resined together to form this shape. They're tiger cowrie shells. And these are vintage strands. So yeah, there they are. Only one strand of that still left. One strand available. Thank you for those who grabbed some of those earlier. VUT 17. Was 65, bringing this down to 45 for you all. This is Lithuanian amber chips. Baltic amber chips. You get some of them that are kind of the more transparent, and some of them are that are the more opaque on the strand. So it's a nice mix of these beautiful. These are smaller chips. Generally, let's see, this one of the smaller ones here is about 4 millimeters. One of the largers go to about 8. So, you know, a little bit of all different sizes between around 4 and 8 millimeters. But a nice long strand of these. Let me see if I can get you. It's about 34 inches. About 34 inches. And one strand available. Was 65, now 45. Real Baltic amber. We've just sold both of the 14s. Thank you so much. I will put those away. A great bag for this. Thank you, thank you. Both of those have sold. VUT 18. Thank you to all who are watching today. It's nice to have you all here. We've actually got a decent crowd for a Wednesday. We appreciate you all hanging out with us. Well, with me, I'm used to saying us because Andrew's usually here with me, but not today. He's in New Jersey, working on using that scholarship he got to take a class, working with transparent enamels with Andy Lowry. So really, if you haven't seen Andy's work, it's amazing and super, super beautiful. So I'm expecting some beautiful things to be shown from Andrew. We've sold a chunk of the 16s. Thank you so much. We do still have some of them available. And these are VUT, or this is VUT 18. This is a fossilized ammonite shell, kind of highly polished. Beautiful. You can see all the beautiful kind of lines and squiggles and natural things in there. I love when you can see them like this. This is a cabochon. There is no hole. I don't know what it would take to drill a hole. So if you can use it as a cabochon, that's your best bet, or to wire wrap it or to seed bead around it. But it's really, really pretty. And it's a nice size. It's not too big, you know, for like a pendant. It's about 40 millimeters by about 32. So like a 40 by 30 cabochon, just a little bit bigger than that. Really nice size. $18 only. Dropping the price on that for you today. Normally 24, that's normally a good selling price for those, but at that size and that quality. But give it to you for 18 today. What the heck? Somebody had a question if these are vintage. Yes. Possibly antique on these ones, but at least vintage. I'm going to put 8 away. We still have 2 of those available. I'm going to go ahead and put them away now. Those little gifts. These little gifts. I'm going to go ahead and put 10 away. No grabbing on that. No one grabbed that one. I'm surprised. The chatons usually sell. I started watching. Anybody watching anything good? We often ask that. Have you ever watched Happy's Place? It's with Reba McEntire and some of her crew from the Reba show. I started watching that the other day, and it's kind of one of those easy feel-good shows to kind of watch. We still have 2 11s left. That's the Santa faces, Santa cutouts. If I can get that off the desk. But it's kind of an easy show to watch. At night, once my brain, we were talking about that earlier, my brain shuts down, I like easy stuff to watch. Let me go ahead and put these shell back. Still 1 strand of those, only $18. Vintage shell strands. All right. And VUT 15. And I will say Happy's Place, it's fun to watch. Some of the acting is a little, you know, but it's one of those shows. It's just one of those kind of funny, easy to watch shows. Anybody else watching anything good? Or anything new? We watched the latest Game of Thrones episode 2 before Andrew left. Let's see here. Let's do $5 on this. Let me see something real quick. Sorry, y'all. Computer's acting up. Okay, just want to make sure. This is VUT 19. And it's these little sneakers. Charm, $5. 1 available. Vintage sneaker charms. $5 for that. VUT 19. Mace is still watching Starfleet Academy. Almost done. 3 episodes left. Nice. I liked it. I liked that a lot. We're watching Tom Hanks' narrated program about World War II on the History Channel, says Susan. Is it interesting? Is it good? Or is it, you know, history can be one of those things. For me, that kind of stuff can be entertaining, like informational, entertaining, or it could be like super dry. How's Tom Hanks doing with narrating it? Marianne says my most recent watch was Grantchester. Is that what you've been watching while you're sick? Anything else? I've still not watched Grantchester. I think I started watching at one point, but I didn't really watch much of it. Okay. Let's see here. VUT 20. Anybody making any plans for the weekend? I don't know what me and the cats are going to do this weekend since Andrew's not around. Probably the same thing as always, but we'll still have a D-Stash on Sunday. Remember, there are things in the D-Stash group. If you missed any of those, they are still available. Lots of good things there. This is $5 for 10 buttons. Let me see how many I've got here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. I think there are 4 of these available. At least 4. Marion says, not really into World War II for my history fixes. These are beautiful shell buttons. And you get 10 buttons for $5. I'm showing you them all. There's at least 40 or 45 of them here. But you'll get 10 buttons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You get that many for $5. Beautiful shell buttons, vintage. Really pretty. And get those for $5 for 10 of them. And they're about 15 millimeter buttons. 15 millimeters. Susan says, yes, it's good. He's a good narrator. I learned more things about the Asian portion of World War II that were glossed over in my high school world history classes. Nice. That's good. I like when we learn new things, right? We're going to be learning a lot in our book club book, I think, about Mexico and Texas and all of that that happened. If you missed that news, this is our Inspired by Reading Book Club book by Reina Grande, The Ballad of Love and Glory. So that is our next book. Have you all grabbed the book yet? We're going to have our book club meeting on October 2nd. So you have until then to read the book and make a project that was inspired by that book. A Ballad of Love and Glory. I sent out an email about that later last night. And there's also a link in there if you want to grab it on Amazon. There's an affiliate link that we'll get a little kickback for. But we did check. You should be able to find this at your library, hopefully, and find it on Audible if you listen to books instead of reading them like we do. Donna says, I buttons my mom bought when we lived in Hawaii in 1962. Nice. I did watch a YouTube about Skara Bray and Scale House, says Marianne. Yeah, you'd watch a lot of YouTube. I know. Watch a lot of the stuff on the YouTube. I do too, but my stuff on YouTube is generally a little bit out there. I like listening to Mayim Bialik on YouTube and her kind of podcast because she talks with a lot of scientists and people who have experienced near-death experiences, scientists who talk about physics because she's studied that as well, and just about like what is happening in the universe and what things are possible or not possible. And I love her podcast because she looks at things from a scientific view and also just from a somebody who's interested and inquiring about like what is after this life and what things like multi-dimensions or what could be happening in the universe. And it's really cool. So I watch a lot of her on YouTube. Susan says, it's wild to think that more time has passed since I studied World War II in high school than that the actual events to high school, if that makes sense. Yeah, when you start thinking about time like that, it's a little bit weird. I was thinking about that the other day. Um, like Andrew and I have been together, I think this year's going to be 19 years. And like, that's my entire, like replaying my entire life up to like in college, my first year or two in college. And that's such a weird thing to think about, that we've been together for as long as it took me to grow up, go through, you know, being a baby, going through elementary school, going through high school, and starting into college. And he and I have been together that long. It's such a weird, when you start thinking about time, and then how old I was when my mom was my age, like that kind of stuff too. This is, I believe, a white jade, but they're not marked. There's some vintage strands we had. I think it's a white jade, but I'm not 100% sure. It could be a quartz, but they're white rounds. They're only $8 each because I'm not sure exactly what they are. So I'm just giving you a really good price on them. They are 8 millimeters. And I'm trying to look even closer. They could be a snow quartz. They might be snow quartz. They kind of have that snow quartz look. I'm going to say snow quartz, but could also be a white jade. VUT 21, just an inexpensive strand of white if you need white beads. It is a natural, I know it's a stone. I know it's a stone. Just not sure exactly. I'm thinking white quartz now that I'm looking at it. Donna says, I'm watching thrifting and historical videos on YouTube. Marion says, in my high school, we watched a series of fairly graphic movies for our study of World War II. Ooh. Susan says, we did too, Marianne. My husband's grandfather was briefly in Auschwitz. Ooh. I honestly don't remember what all we watched or studied about World War II in high school, to be honest. I think that's also because history was not a thing for me back then. I do enjoy it more now. And Mary says, that's kind of awful, Susan. It definitely is, right? Very awful. At least, yeah, that's not good. He got out as part of a prisoner exchange. I didn't even know they did that kind of thing. Background for that. See, learning new stuff. I'm gonna put the mittens away. We still have two of those still have both of those available. Let's see here. And I'm just going to remind everybody, if you came in late, we're having a sale on the online store. Use discount code CATSPLAY to save 20% off most everything in the online store through this weekend. So you can save through this entire weekend. 20% off most everything. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put these away. We still have some of these available. We sold a number of those, but still have some available. And I'm going to go ahead and put the amber chips away. VUT 17. Whoa. Trying to throw things around today. I feel very clumsy today. Having one of those days. Let's see here. Ooh, getting close on time. Got to speed up a little bit. Keep things moving here. I'm talking too much, not showing enough. Let's see what do we have on this. Let's see, we had these at 12. These are large vintage plastic made to look like amber. We had them at 12 for the set of 4. Let's do them at, let's see here. We'll do them at $8 for the set of 4 of these. Susan, see you all later. Have to feed the cats and off to do good works. Have a great one, Susan. Thanks for hanging out with us. Beautiful vintage plastic, vintage resin, made to look like a amber or wooden bead. They've got the bells on them if you want to use them, or you can cut those off and use them however you want. There are, whoa! I should put these in here. Be a little bit easier. There are 2 different sizes. 3 of them are approximately 25 by 30 on the bead itself. Then there's one smaller one that's about 18 by 25. Okay, let's see here. Okay, next up. It's a great deal for these. $5. These are, I believe, vintage plastic. Yeah, these are an metal electroplated vintage plastic heart beads. The holes go top to bottom through the heart. And you get this entire bag of them for $5. VUT 23. And then, boy, I picked out some big beads today. Big beads. These are probably not going to stay up here either. Let me see. There we go. These were $10. I'll bring these down to 8 as well. There are 2 lots of these. You get a lot of 4 of these large ceramic beads. These are super pretty with a crackle glaze. Big, large ceramic. Beautiful beads, and approximately 25 millimeters on those. Those are ceramic. 4 of them for $8, $2 a bead, 2 lots available. Nobody grabbed the fossil here, so I will put that away. Nobody grabbed the little sneakers. That surprises me. Those are really cool. Sneaker charms, little Converse star on those. VUT 19, $5 for those vintage charms. I think that's from Providence, pressed brass. And let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and put these away. These are the shell buttons, $5 for 10 buttons. Sealed up, and I'm going to move these down. I'll move those without them going everywhere. There we go. Nobody have any good plans for the weekend? Are they doing anything fun? Nobody mentioned, I don't think, weekend stuff. I'll be at the store, so if you're in Johnstown, if anybody's watching, come visit me. I have a few people I think that we're talking about coming up this weekend, so we'll see. I hope they're able to make it. This is a coconut shell carved pendant. We've got one of these available, $7. Super light. Coconut shell is a super light wood or natural material. And we've got one of those available, VUT 25. And then $3. VUT 26. VUT 26, vintage check glass coins. Tiny little coins in this deep blue. Whoops, the right side on this. These are 5mm, $3 for the strand, one strand available. Boy, my Sharpie's just about done. Good thing we're getting to the end here. VUT 27 is one of Andrew's pendants, polymer clay pendants. $10 down to $8. Last one of these, Be Inspired. Be Inspired. And this pendant is 30mm by Andrew. He did a whole Be series, and that's one of the last ones of those, Be Inspired. Thought that'd be good for people today. Be inspired to do things. I'm going to go ahead and put the snow quartz away. That's what I'm calling it. VUT 21. Go ahead and put away the vintage plastic, vintage resin, more like it. $8 for those. VUT 23. Let me find a bag for that. This away, the hearts. Let's see here. Len is here. Hello, Len. Says, forgot it was Wednesday. Need to catch up. Hello. Yep, Wednesday, early day. Early day. VUT 28. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for joining in. These are African glass. VUT 20. Picked a lot of big beads today. You're not a big bead liker, maybe, I don't know. But these are African glass. 2 large beads. You get to pair them for $8. And by big, I mean about 32mm. Let's say 30mm or so. This one looks a little bit bigger. That's about 32. Recycled glass African beads, VUT 28, $8 for the pair. Oh, how many of these do I have? 2 of them. They're just long. 2 strands. These are crystals, $8. No, let's do it $6 a strand. $6 a strand, vintage crystal. These would be a Chinese crystal. Faceted round. These are about 22-inch strands. $6 for the strand. Super cheap. About 8mm beads. 2 of them available. VUT 29. And the VUT 30. And this was 12. Let's do 10. Oops, that doesn't look like. Let me try that again. 10. And this is a dyed jade in a pink, faceted rectangle or faceted pillow. And there's one of those available. This is a vintage strand. The beads themselves are about 8mm by 12. 8 by 12. And the strand is a 15-inch strand. Vintage strand on that. One of those available. VUT 30. And that, friends, is it for tonight. Or, yeah, tonight. Today. It's not tonight yet. It's still today. So thank you all for joining us here. If you have any questions, at this point, if you're questioning, please send us an email. Normally I would say ask in the comments, but we generally don't see all the comments or review comments of every video after we're done. So send us an email if you have any questions about anything. And if you'd like to claim, there's still a lot left from today. So feel free to take a look through the video and see what you may have missed. If you're watching this in a replay and you've gotten to the end, thank you so much for watching the replay as well. We appreciate it so much. Please like this video. Please share this video with your friends. We really, really appreciate it. Kim says, gotta run, bye all. We're running too. Says, have a great class swim. Can't wait to see your new pieces. Me too. It's going to be a while till I get some new ones though, I think. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. And we will see you all back here tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the live tomorrow.